Whispered Chapter Productions presents One Day at a Time. Created by Renita Bowers. The world woke like it usually does lately. The air felt heavy, like it had been holding its breath all night, waiting for something I couldn't name. I was up before any of those suns crested, my eyes catching the first faint light creeping over the horizon. The cracks in the earth out front still seemed wider today, steam curling from them in slow spirals, still whispering things I couldn't fully make out. And yet I dared to hope he'd come back. After the war, after the months of waiting, the fear, the letters that never arrived, and yet there it was. Hope. I thought I heard the truck before I even saw it. Gravel crunching under tires. A figure stepping down. I ran to the porch. Lee behind me, my heart hammering in my chest. At first I couldn't be sure, was it him? Or was it one of them? The military men who'd been sending letters, the ones who'd said they found bodies. Who would say James didn't make it? I pressed my hands to my mouth. My eyes scanned every detail, uniform, gait, the way he moved. It had to be James. I wanted it to be James, but my stomach twisted. The figure turned and I froze. Alive. His eyes met mine, familiar and warm, yet shadowed by something I couldn't name. The relief wanted to break me, but doubt lingered, sharp as a blade. The truck turned the corner and left. Dust rising in the golden morning, and there he was, James, my James, alive. He stepped down the driveway, moving with a limp he didn't have before, a little stiffer, a little heavier, not in weight, but like he was carrying something we couldn't see. The uniform he wore was torn in places, sun-faded, patched poorly in some spots, and his hands, God, his hands. They were scarred and dirt-streaked, but still his. I couldn't think, I couldn't breathe. I opened the door before I could stop myself. My bare feet slapped against the wood porch. Lee had run ahead, yelling his father's name. James turned, and I saw his eyes, those eyes meeting mine. Alive, human. He lowered himself slowly to Lee, his face breaking into the kind of smile that made your chest ache with relief and disbelief. He's here, alive. He's not the same man who left. His eyes hold storms I've never seen before. But he's home. I ran and collided with him in the yard. I pressed against him, burying my face in his chest. His warmth, his smell, the familiarity of him, and yet it isn't the man I remembered leaving for the war. James lifted Lee into his arms, spinning him around, and for a moment, the world was perfect. It felt like it could stay like that forever. So I held him tight, whispering his name over and over, trying to memorize every detail, every curve of his face, every movement. We stayed like that for a long while. The birds had started to sing again, and the wind felt ordinary. But I knew better. I could feel it under the soil, faintly pushing beneath my feet. The same pulse from the knocking. The same mess that has haunted the earth for days. We brought him inside. The house smelling like wood smoke, tea, and old floorboards. For a little while, everything seemed normal. Almost mundane, almost safe. Lee ran from room to room, laughing, discovering corners of the house as if he'd never been here before. Mimi fussed over James, brushing dust off his sleeves and murmuring prayers. as if she was trying to build a shield around him. James spoke of the war, of the trenches, of lights in the sky that weren't stars, of screams and shadows that moved too fast to see clearly. His words were careful, measured, but I could hear it in his voice, the weight he carried, the things he had seen, things that touched the edges of death. I tried to focus on chopping some vegetables for dinner, on sweeping the floor, on anything to stop my mind from wandering, but I could feel it. I could still feel it. The pulse, the throbbing faintly beneath the floorboards, still syncing with my heartbeat. A rhythm that refused to leave. It felt like the land itself was acknowledging him or warning us. I still don't know which. We ate our supper in silence, more or less. The air was hot and heavy. James seemed to notice it too. The way the wind held still. The way the birds kept just out of sight. Outside, the soil had shifted. Rifts were running even wider, and a faint green sheen shimmered along the cracks. The pulse under my hands at the table was stronger, insistent, almost impatient.
Lucy, do you feel that?
I nodded, unable to speak. Lee clutched at my skirt, sensing the tension in the air. Mimi clenched her hands so tight I thought she might break her knuckles. And then I saw them. Again. At first, just two pairs of eyes at the edge of the tree line, reflecting sunlight like golden glass. They moved sideways, unnatural, deliberate. I froze. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to tell him, to warn him, but the words died in my throat. How do you explain this to a man who's seen horrors beyond anything I can imagine? How can I explain the pulse, the eyes, the knocking, an earth that breathes like a living thing? And the vines. The vines that responded to me. The way they had healed Lee, stitched his flesh together like the world was correcting itself. Lee glanced at me, his eyes narrowing, knowing.
I've seen a lot in the war. Things I didn't think were real. But this is different.
So he knew. My heart lifted and sank at the same time. He had always been brave, but this unspoken knowing between a husband and wife shouldn't be for things like this. It should be for intimate moments and silent complaints about the in-laws. By late afternoon, the new pink sun was hanging at its lowest spot. The pulse continued under the floorboards, that subtle, insistent vibration. James set about cleaning the rifle. Careful, methodical. Lee sat nearby, mimicking each of his father's actions, and humming that tune James had hummed to him when he was little. Littler. That strange, sweet, otherworldly sound. It seemed to carry me back to somewhere distant. The calm lasted for hours. The eyes in the tree line were gone. and for the first time in weeks, I allowed myself to breathe fully, to sink into a moment of relief. But relief is dangerous in Sedgepoint these days. And the windows rattled. Softly. Almost like a warning.
Lucy.
The pulse beneath the floorboards intensified, stronger, insistent. I could tell the soil under our very porch was alive. It was watching. I looked out. The shadows were moving at the edge of the woods. Small hunched figures, not human, eyes reflecting again like that golden mirror. 2 became 4, 4 became dozens. They watched, patient, waiting. I wanted to tell James, but words failed me. All I could do was point. He stepped over and locked the door and told Mimi to shut all the shutters. And we stayed at the table pretending to eat. Pretending the world hadn't cracked open beneath our feet. James knows something. And all I know is that I hear it. We are here. Always. After supper, we made sure to bar all the windows and doors. James settled Lee into bed with us. He grabbed his guitar and he sang Soft Sparrow.
Sleep, soft sparrow, close your eyes. Daddy's voice will calm your cries. Sleep, soft sparrow, soft and low. Drift where quiet rivers go. Sleep, soft sparrow. Sleep, soft sparrow.
Sleep, soft sparrow, dry your tears. Mama's voice will calm your fears. Sleep, soft sparrow, soft and low. Drift where quiet rivers flow.
Sleep, soft sparrow. Sleep, soft sparrow. Sleep, soft sparrow. Sleep, soft sparrow. Sleep.
We will figure this out.
I wanted to believe him. I needed to. And for a little while, the fear slipped. For a little while. In that bed, we were a family again. But the pulse never left. The eyes never blinked away. And this power is growing impatient. We survived today. Together. One day at a time. Lucille and Rivers.